What is up, FPG fam? Further here, and welcome back to another Snowbreak video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Acacia Kaguya, the first limited up drop rate character, and whether she's worth pulling or not. I've been getting this question a ton in my comment section as of late, so I thought we would address that today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about her kit, gameplay, we're going to be talking about my current build on her, and then I'm going to provide my advice and recommendations. So hopefully you get some value from today's video. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it. First, going over my current build. Spoiler, it's nothing special. I have her at level 17, a 4-star weapon on her, no manifestation, and I only have one neuronic unlock. We're going to go more in depth about that here in just a second. The first thing that I did want to address is that she's a pistol wielder. Now, from my experience, you either love pistol wielders or you don't. There's no real middle ground when it comes to them, and the reason being is because they're not OP damage dealers like snipers or shotgun users, and they're not as fun in terms of rate of fire like a machine gun user. They're very well balanced in my opinion, and I enjoy that because pistol wielders, in my opinion, take a little more skill. You have to hit the weak spot on the enemy to do any real damage. If you don't hit weak spots, it feels like you're throwing water balloons at the enemy and not doing anything at all, and that can be very demoralizing for some individuals, and that can lead to them not liking using this character at all. So I can understand why some people may not like using pistol wielders for that reason. It takes a little more skill and challenge, which I enjoy. So my piece of advice and recommendation is to go ahead and use her in the character trial and see if you enjoy using this character in the first place. Now, one thing I did also want to quickly mention as a disclaimer or asterisk is that she is a good support character as well. Once again, we're going to go more in depth about that here in just a second. So let's go ahead and talk about her skills at this time, starting with her standard skill. She's going to go ahead and throw the moon dart. It's going to fly around her. It's going to do frost damage to enemies, and it's going to decrease their movement speed by 10% up to a max of 3 stacks. Kaguya, as a first and foremost, is a great damage dealer when it comes to mobs of enemies. I want to go ahead and mention that. She's also going to be good against bosses for other reasons, but mobs because she has a lot of AoE within her kit. But the standard skill is nice because it's decreasing the movement speed. That is, in my opinion, an underrated effect that is in the game. So decreasing movement speed is always a good thing, and then dealing damage is nice, and it has a good AoE on it. Now, the neuronics or the neural skills we're going to talk about when we talk about the neuronics, so we'll get to that here in just a second. Moving over to the support skill, she's going to go ahead and throw the moon dart again, but it's going to be thrown in front of her towards the enemy, and it's going to be there for 10 seconds, dealing frost damage to the enemies and applying the moontide effect. Now, the moontide effect is going to decrease their all-type resistance by 14.4%. From my understanding, off the top of my head, I don't know any other character that can decrease all type resistance by a percentage. I could be wrong. You can let me know in the comments down below, but she's going to be very unique in that aspect, and if there is one, there's not that many, so she's going to be unique in that aspect, and this is extremely valuable in my opinion. And then once again, doing the frost damage, so the standard skill is really good. And then the ultimate, I dare say, is one of the best ultimates in the game. Basically throws out a gigantic tornado in front of her. Every half second to the enemy is going to deal frost damage, and it's going to decrease their movement speed by 10% once again. So you couple that with the actual standard skill, decreasing the movement speed of the enemies. They're going to be moving like they're in quicksand. So really good ultimate right there. And then for what I like to call the passive skill, it's going to increase full squad's damage dealt to targets inflicted with a movement speed reduction, which, keep in mind, remember, it's going to be on their standard and the ultimate by 2.5%. For each 100 alignment index, increases by an extra 1%. This is valuable in my opinion because she's increasing the party's damage, which is a very nice support ability in of itself. So she's a very good support character. Once again, harkening back to, if you don't like using pistol wielders, you can put her on the support side and use her as a support character for her support skill. And then for this skill right here, it's just really good, and she's going to benefit you in that aspect. So those are her skills. Now, the manifestation, so let's go ahead and talk about them. They're really good. They're actually make Kaguya pretty nutty. Anyways, the first one's going to increase the AoE of Kaguya Moondart by 50%. That's her support skill. Insane. The second one, when equipped with a frost weapon, increases Kaguya Moondart's resistance reduction effect by 40%. So she's just shredding the enemy's resistance. Increases the duration of all crescent moon darts by 2 seconds. That is nice. Now this one's going to do a skill up, and then resistance reduction inflicted by moontide increases to 16.8%. Once again, going to that shred for the enemies, allowing you to do more damage, and then decreases moon halo's cooldown to 15 seconds. So The manifestations are really nice. You couple this with the support capabilities of increasing your teammates' damage, and then everything else that we have going on here. She becomes a pretty nutty character once you start unlocking those manifestations, which is warranted because you're going for them, you're having to go deep, so that is to be expected. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about her neuronics at this time. And this is where I need to address the fact that once you pull Kaguya, if you don't have any neuronics unlocked, just base Kaguya, she's gonna feel very underwhelming, and it's gonna feel as if you wasted your premium currency. I'm just being honest with you and upfront about that and transparent. She does not feel all that special and all that strong when you first pull her and you don't have much investment in terms of neuronics into this character, because she is neuronic dependent, in my opinion, of course. And the reason being is because her skill, the standard skill, it is nice, it's good for mobs of enemies, but it's not that great in terms of damage dealing, and it's decent in terms of the way it flies around. There's nothing truly special about it, and the damage that it does is pretty underwhelming, if I'm being completely honest about that. Her support skill is really nice, and there's some good benefits there, but once you start unlocking neuronics, it gets even better. And then her ultimate is really good, and it does some nice damage, but it does take a bit to get the ultimate online, as well as the enemies can walk out of it if you don't have any neuronics unlocked. They can walk right out of it, and it will feel like you just wasted the ultimate, and it took so long to get it online. So like I mentioned, Kaguya, base Kaguya without any neuronics unlocked, she's gonna feel underwhelming. She's gonna feel as if you wasted your premium currency. But I can assure you, once you start unlocking these neuronics and you start investing some resources into this character, not only is it going to pay dividends down the road, but you're going to see how good she truly is and why she's the first limited up drop rate character, and why I do recommend pulling for her. But we'll get more into that here in just a moment. So let's talk about the first neuronic. So the first one is essentially her standard skill is going to allow you to provide 3 stacks. This is where you get to experience this in the character trial, and this is where I was very impressed, because I thought this was within her base kit, which essentially it is. You just need to unlock it. I thought this was going to be as soon as you pull Kaguya, though, this is what you have. No, you have to unlock this neuronic first, and once you do, then you have stacks of these moon darts, and when you throw them and you use your stacks, you have moon darts flying around like crazy, multiple ones, and they're hitting multiple enemies, and they're doing much more damage, and it feels a lot better, especially in a crowd of enemies. So this is really going to enhance her skill tenfold, and you're going to feel the benefits of this one being unlocked. Now, if we go over to the second one right here, the Kaguya moon dart can suck nearby targets towards it. This is where I now have to speak about how good Kaguya's CCing capability truly is. She has so much CC within her kit that the enemies are not going to be able to move anywhere. First and foremost, we talked about her skill where she has the speed reduction for using her standard and using her ultimate. Now we're going to talk about how she's going to be able to keep the enemies in place. So not only is she decreasing their speed so they can't move as fast, but now she's going to keep them in place with this skill right here and this neuronic unlock. Now we move over to this one right here, and the one that I unlocked, the ultimate is now going to suck the enemies in. So now you have this unlocked with their ultimate. Not only is the ultimate going to hit and gonna do damage, but it's going to ensure that it hits and does damage, because like I mentioned before, they could simply walk out of it. With this unlock, now they're stuck in place and they're not going to be able to get out of the ultimate, and this is going to make the ultimate feel so much better. Now this one right here, the winter moon, reaches 3 stacks, inflicts the frozen effect on the target for 3 seconds, and marks it with a frost moon. When a target marked with frost moon is shot by Acacia, the frozen is removed and the target's knocked into the air and dealt 200% of attack as frost damage. So this is going to allow Acacia to not only do tons of damage in a short span, is like a burst, but she's also able to freeze the enemies, if I'm not mistaken, from what I understand about the frozen effect. It's gonna freeze once again, leading to the CC, and it says control right here. Usually when it says control, it's CCing capabilities. So once again, allowing the enemies to not move, that's really good. And then moving over to the next one right here, Kaguya moon dart will follow the hit target. So not only can you now suck the enemies in, but now it's going to follow them wherever they go. It's insane. And once again, that harkens back to her being a really good support character. So if you don't want to use her on point, you don't have to. You can have her as a support character, use whoever you love as point, and just use her support skill, because the support skill, once you have these 2 neuronics unlocked, which if you're going to use her as a support character, I advise you going for this one first and then unlocking this one, it's going to be insane. And you're just going to have a very solid support character alongside her passive skill. Very nice. And then for this one, the duration of her ultimate is going to increase to 10 seconds after you use it. You couple that, I'm debating whether I'm going to unlock this one next or her skill, because I do use Acacia Kaguya on point. So I'm just really trying to determine what's going to be more beneficial. I think I'm going to go with this one because we do have this unlocked already for the ultimate, keeping the enemies in. And then for 10 seconds is going to last. 10 seconds is a very long time within this game. You can do so much within 10 seconds. The enemies are going to be stuck in place for that amount of time. You could pop off whatever you want. So I think this is going to be a very good option to unlock. Once again, still debating, but I'm probably going to go with this one. But this just all culminates to Kaguya being a very strong character that has very strong CCing capabilities, and really just be beneficial overall as a character that once you invest into is going to show how good she truly is and what she brings to the table. So my advice and my recommendation is that she is worth pulling. She is a strong first limited character upon official release of this game. I think they did a very good job. She also looks fantastic in my opinion. She has an outfit already. I did not mean to click there. She has an outfit already, albeit it is within the battle pass, so it is kind of pay to win, but it is a fantastic outfit. If I do say so myself, it is kind of a chef's kiss, but it is locked behind the battle pass. So free-to-play players rip in the chat. That's not a reason to pull her. I'm just saying her character design is really nice, and couple that with her skills and what she's going to be able to do for you. I think this character is phenomenal and is worth pulling. Once again, you do have to put in some investments and resources into her to make her feel strong. Once again, base Kaguya is not going to feel like she was worth the currency, but once you start unlocking those neurotics, she starts to come online and she starts to show how she truly performs. Now, my other recommendation and advice for my free-to-play players and light spenders is that you can actually wait until her banner's about to leave. I would say 2 to 3 days before her banner's about to leave. You got 15 days left. You could be hoarding your premium currency and possibly see who might be coming next after her and then decide from there, right? Though that's also a viable option that you could take advantage of if you want to, if you have the patience for that. So anyways, guys, once again, I hope this video brought you some value. Hopefully you have a better idea of what Kaguya is going to be able to do for you. And if you're on the fence, hopefully this helps you to make a decision. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I do truly appreciate it. It means the world to me. Once I start to get those neurotics unlocked, I'm probably going to come back with more Kaguya videos showing you what she's truly capable of and what she's going to be able to do. So anyways, I'm going to get on out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody, and you call me further. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.